Something interesting happened the other day when I was on my way to the hairdresser, and I mentioned, not without even thinking about it, I mentioned that I couldn't even put in my hearing aids because I was going to have my head in the sink. So many of you wrote to me, first of all, being surprised that I wore hearing aids. I am 77, so, I don't know that that's that surprising. But also that you wanted information on them. And I do remember when I was gathering information on hearing aids, it's important. You want to make sure that you really do like what you choose, and you want to make sure it's appropriate for you, that it's the right product. I'll tell you a little bit about how I came to have them. I was noticing that when we were out to dinner with other couples in a restaurant and there were several people around the table, that very often if the two people across the table were talking to each other, I couldn't really hear what they were saying. And if someone was trying to talk to me from across the table, I couldn't always hear everything they were saying, and that was really beginning to bother me. That, and the only other thing I noticed was on television, especially British accents. If I was watching a television show that had an accent, I had a hard time picking up all the words, and I felt like I was missing things. So I started using closed captions, but I still knew it shouldn't be that way because it didn't used to be that way. So I decided I would go and get my hearing tested. So I did. I didn't go to one of the hearing aid places because I just didn't want to go to some place that was going to be selling me something. So I went to my ear, nose, and throat doctor, and they have an audiologist there. And they did a hearing test, and the hearing test came out that I did have some moderate hearing loss. They didn't think that it was significant enough that this was 2 years ago, significant enough that I had to go running to get hearing aids, but it was something I should probably start thinking about. So I decided to use that time to investigate it. So I met with two different hearing aid companies here in town. One, I really wasn't really impressed at all. I just didn't feel like they were very well informed. And the second one that I went to seemed to be able to answer all of my questions. And so I asked them to tell me all the different levels and what the benefits were of this one or this one, and what would I lose if I went to this one. I finally ended up with EarQ. This is the one that I ended up with, and I believe it is hang on, I'll make sure I give you the right information. It is the F series. It's the F series EarQ. They're very small. I have them right here. This is what it looks like. This part goes over my ear, and this little clear part goes into my ear. Super, super simple to put on. Very not noticeable. The only thing that's there is a tiny little clear, very small clear tubing that goes there. So these are the controls. I could control them here if I wanted to. The one that I got has an app for my phone, which I would say 100% you should get one that has an app for your phone. You can control everything from the app on your phone. This is the receiver right here, and this is just a little piece that helps to hold it into your ear. You don't have to have that. They recommend them. I like the security of knowing that no matter what I do, it's going to stay in place. So that's what it looks like, and very, very effective. I am just so impressed they can put so much into such a little tiny thing. What I love about mine is the app that comes on my phone. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. I can control everything from my phone. And you know what else is great? They're exactly like Apple AirPods. I can listen to my music. All my phone calls come through them. It's wonderful. I can be out walking. I can turn my music on. It just comes right through my earbuds. In my car, there are different settings. I can set it to come through my car speakers like it always did before, or I can set it to continue to come through my hearing aids. It has different categories too. Like if you're in a lecture, there's a different, it's an Opticon op, and this is the one right here. That's the one that controls it. And this is the charger. This is what I put it in every night. You just drop them in here every night, and they're charged when you get up in the morning, and they don't take that long. You could charge it in an hour. But that's what I do every night. I just put them right in there next to the bed, and because I don't have a significant hearing loss yet, I sometimes forget to put them in, but I prefer to have them in because my phone calls, my phone rings through my ears, my music plays through my ears. I can have all my conversations that way. Okay, so on your phone, you can control everything this way. This is your right and left hearing aids. It tells you how much battery there is in them, all the information about it. Up here, you can go to the different categories. So right here, I have general, lecture, and my music. So when they set this up for you and they customize it to your own ears, they make sure that all these levels are good for you. And I'm going to go back this year. It's been 2 years. I've had no problems. But I'm going to go back this year just to get another hearing test, just to make sure that everything's calibrated as it should be. And so one of the points that I wanted to make, and one of the reasons I decided to talk about this, is that as we get older, we sometimes shy away from anything that's a symbol of getting older. We sometimes shy away from the fact that, oh, I've got to get cataract surgery, I've got to get hearing aids, because it is something that we associate with aging. But the thing is, whether we do or not, it's very, very important to take care of these things. Our senses have so much to do with how we age and how we function. A lot of people who seem to be completely out of it, don't seem to understand what you're talking about, they're perfectly fine, but they just can't hear. And they're just too stubborn to do something about it. So they appear feeble. They appear to not be fully aware of what's going on. And you don't ever want that to happen. And that was one of my major concerns. I want to make sure that I can be the best I can be at every age. And I want to make sure my senses are sharp. I want to make sure my eyes are as good as they can be. I want to make sure my hearing's as good as it can be, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to function at the top of my game throughout the rest of my life. So it's very, very important. They have also done a lot of studies, and it's not just a fringe study anymore. It's now solid, reliable studies that are showing that people who do not take care of their hearing, who don't get hearing aids when they need them, do tend to get dementia. The brain does not get the stimulation that it needs. It's not hearing all the signals. It's not functioning the way it was meant to function. So if you're impaired that way, then it begins to impair the brain. The brain is not getting the stimulus that it needs. So you can read up on all of these things, and you can do your own research and, get your own information, but just don't ignore it. Just take care of yourself and make sure that you are the best that you can be at every age. And I just want to say, hearing aids are important, and if you've been thinking about it, maybe now's the time to actually take that step and do your research and find what will work for you.